Ever feel like the more you try to save, the less money you actually have? You skip the premium brand, you buy the cheaper version, you tell yourself you were being smart, but a few months later, your bank account is empty, and you're surrounded by clutter you barely remember buying. Here is the thing nobody tells you. Cheap things are not saving you money. They're engineered to make you spend more of it, and your brain is the reason why. The first way cheap things bleed you dry is the most straightforward. You end up buying the same thing over and over again. There's an old saying, buy it nice or buy it twice, and the math actually holds up. Take shoes. A quality pair might cost more up front, but it lasts years. The budget version? 2 months if you're lucky. Buy those 4 or 5 times in a row, and you have spent more than you ever would have on the good pair. Plus, you dealt with the discomfort the whole time. This applies to almost everything. Clothes, appliances, furniture. The cheaper option rarely stays cheap when you factor in how often you replace it. But the durability problem is just the surface. The deeper issue is what one cheap purchase does to your brain. This is called the Diderot Effect, named after an 18th century French philosopher who received a beautiful scarlet robe as a gift. He loved it, but the moment he put it on, his old desk looked wrong. His chairs looked shabby. His whole room suddenly felt like it did not match. So he replaced the desk, then the chairs, then the rug, then the curtains. One gift he didn't even ask for sent him into a spiral of spending he never planned for. We do the exact same thing. You join a budget gym, and within weeks you're buying foam rollers, new shoes, protein powders, and a gym bag. You get a new couch, and suddenly you can't stop thinking about the coffee table, the rug, the lighting. Each cheap starting point opens the door to an entire ecosystem of things you now feel like you need, and because each individual item feels affordable, you keep walking through that door. Now here's where the brain science gets really interesting. Your brain is supposed to protect you from overspending. It has a built-in mechanism for it. When you look at a price tag, a region called the Insula activates. This is the same part of your brain that processes physical pain and negative emotion. It fires up and essentially pumps the brakes. It makes spending feel uncomfortable enough that you pause and reconsider. Scientists call this the pain of paying. But for cheap items, that brake barely activates. The discomfort is so small that your brain doesn't register it as a real cost, so you buy without hesitation, and then again and again, because nothing ever hurts enough to stop you. And if you're using a credit card on top of that, it gets worse. Research shows credit cards don't just reduce the pain of paying, they actually activate your brain's reward system. So instead of feeling a break, you feel a small rush, a sense that you're winning a deal. That dopamine hit is what you're really chasing, not the product. The last piece of this is the one most people never see coming. When you're constantly focused on finding deals and managing small amounts of money, it's quietly draining your ability to think clearly about bigger financial decisions. Researchers call this the scarcity mindset, and it works like background apps on your phone. You might not notice them running, but they're eating through your battery. Every minute your brain spends comparing prices on laundry detergent or hunting for a coupon code is mental energy that doesn't go toward reviewing your insurance, your savings rate, your long-term plan. You save a few dollars on the small stuff and quietly lose far more on the decisions you were too mentally exhausted to get right. Cheap thinking has a hidden tax, and it's paid in the things you never got around to fixing. So what actually changes this? The distinction is between being frugal and being cheap. Frugal means you're intentional. You spend less where it doesn't matter, so you can spend more where it does. Cheap means you optimize for the lowest number on the price tag and end up paying for it in replacement costs, lost time, and a brain too cluttered with small decisions to think straight. Before your next bargain purchase, ask yourself honestly, will I be buying this again in 2 months? Is this going to pull me into buying 5 other things to go with it? And am I choosing this because it genuinely serves me or just because it doesn't hurt enough to make me stop? Your wallet doesn't care what something costs. It only cares what you actually spent.